A young law professor named Ruth Bader Ginsburg set out to prove that laws treating men and women differently were inherently unfair. After attending Harvard and Columbia law schools, where she earned top grades, Ginsburg could not get hired by a law firm, and eventually took a job with the American Civil Liberties Union. From there, she would bring a series of cases in the early 1970s.
Our strategy was the soul of simplicity. It was to go after the stereotypes that were written into law.
An early case involved a female lieutenant in the Air Force who did not get the same medical and housing benefits for her husband as male officers received for their wives. Ginsburg argued the case in the Supreme Court.
These are the most important judges in the United States. They knew nothing about the disadvantages that gender lines in the law meant in the lives of people. I was at first terribly nervous, and then looked up the justices and thought to myself, I have a captive audience. They have to listen to me. They have no place to go.
These distinctions help keep woman in her place, a place inferior to that occupied by men.
Ginsburg won the case 8-1.
Once the court said, this violates equal protection, we knew that the time was right to continue along that path.
While Ginsburg and other lawyers attacked discriminatory statutes already on the books, feminists decided that the only way to make sure new laws were fair would be to write them themselves.
I can tell you that when I started to run, I was the laughingstock of the city.
In 1972, the Democrat named Patricia Schroeder ran for Congress in a heavily Republican district in Colorado, part of a vanguard of new female politicians. Though she'd been a labor lawyer, an early member of NOW, Schroeder had next to no political experience.
The way I came to run for Congress in 1972 was probably the most unplanned thing ever. My husband was on a committee looking for someone to run. So Jim came home one night and said, guess whose name came up at the meeting? I said, I don't know. He said, yours. I said, mine? I haven't even run for a bus. What are you talking about?
Part of our being able to operate differently is my being a woman.
When I announced, one of the papers said, Denver housewife announces for Congress.